All right, today we're working on Math 8-7. 8-7. Flyways. Okay, so grab your workbooks. We are going to be on page 331. 331 in your workbooks looks like this. Okay, we're continuing with volume and area. We're kind of comparing the two today. All right, guys, we are starting right at the top. It says compare length, area, and volume. And on the right-hand side, there is a great diagram to help us understand what we're talking about right here. We've got length, we've got area, and we've got volume. Okay, I know you can all see the difference between these three pictures. All right, length tells how wide, tall, or long something is. Okay? Finding length requires one measurement. Length is one-dimensional and is measured in linear units. Okay. Let's keep going. Area tells how much surface a figure covers. Okay, if you are working at a desk right here, anything that you can touch with your hands across that desk is the surface that it covers, and if we were to find what all of that measured, we'd be finding the area. Area is two-dimensional and is measured in square units. Okay, so if you look over to the picture on the right, look at area in the middle. It shows 1 centimeter on the bottom, 1 centimeter on the side. See, we have a length and a width, right? A length and a width. Okay. That's what makes it two-dimensional. That line at the top, we only have a length. We only have one thing to measure, is this one line. Okay, but the area has the two, the length times the width. Area is two-dimensional and is measured in square units. I read that. Okay, next. Volume tells how much space an object occupies. Finding the volume of a rectangular prism requires three linear measurements. And we know that, right? It's the length, width, height. Length, width, height. Volume is three-dimensional and is measured in cubic units, right? Because we've got length times width times height. Okay, so let's go through these questions. This is actually going to be really fun. I wish we were in class to do this, but we're going to go through. So let's go through. We want to tell whether or not we are finding volume, area, or length, okay? Which is listed right there. And then we need to write the number of measurements we would need to make, okay? With length, there's only one measurement because that's just that one line. With area, we have two measurements, right? Length times width. With volume, we have three measurements, length times width times height, okay? So let's look at number one. How much water is in a swimming pool? Think about which one that is. Is it length? Is it area or volume? Now, some of you might say area, but remember back at the top and what we talked about just a minute ago, it's the surface area of something. So I'm going to go with volume, right? Because we also have how deep is the swimming pool. If we just measured how much water filled, the very top, that might be the area, but it's how deep as well. So we've got to do volume. So for number one, you're going to write volume. And then we also have to write how many measurements we would need. And for volume, remember, it's length times width times height. So we would need three measurements. For number one, I would write volume 3. Okay. All right, let's look at number two. How tall are you? Okay, so have you ever stood up and had your grandparents or your parents measure how tall you are with a measuring tape or something on a wall? My kids do it all the time because they like to compare height with their cousins and stuff. And right now, my son is the tallest out of the whole family. Not that that's anything, but we always compare. But it is just one measurement, right? I'm not measuring how wide he is, which he's not. He's totally skinny, but it's just that how tall he is. It's just one measurement. So that one would be length. So you're writing length. And how many measurements? Just one. Just one. Ooh, oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, there we go. So we've got length, 1. Make sure you're writing these down. It will help you to register this information. Number 3, how much carpet is needed for a floor? How much carpet's needed for a floor? That is a surface area, right? That is the area we're filling throughout a room. But carpet isn't a deep thing, right? No, it's just a flat thing. It's going throughout the room, but it's flat. So this one would be area. And how many measurements do we need for area? Just 2, right? Length times width. Okay. How far is it from a doorknob to the floor? Yes, length, right? We're just measuring that one thing, length. Okay, how many measurements are length? 1. All right, so you should be with me here. We're filling these all in. Okay. How much sand is in a sandbox? Volume. Yeah, because we need to know how big the sandbox is, but we also need how deep does the sand go. Okay, so volume, how many measurements does volume take? Length times width times height, 3. Okay, how much wallpaper is needed for one wall? Well, you know, we talked about the carpet and we said that it's a flat thing. It does go throughout the floor, but it is flat. Well, wallpaper is the same. It's on a wall, but it is flat. So this one is area. How many measurements do we need for area? Length times width, 2. How long is a string? Length. Good job. Long was our key there, right? How long is something? Just one measurement. And last one, how much space is there inside a refrigerator? Yeah, if it's talking about how much space inside of something, that is all of the space in there, how far back the refrigerator goes, how wide the refrigerator is, and how tall the refrigerator is, or its height, right? So volume and those 3 measurements. Okay. Turn your page, 332. Now, for these real-world problems, ooh, I said that without messing up. Real-world problems, they are asking or using real-world problems, but they want you to determine what type of formula you're using to solve those. So some might be finding a length of something, some might be finding a perimeter of something, some might be finding the area of something, and then some of them might be finding the volume. So that's what's a little bit different about these word problems, is you have to decide. I'm not getting very much light here, I'm sorry. My lamp's not very bright. Come on. Let's look at number 9. Soledad has a storage box. That's what's to the right, so you can see the picture. The box is 6.5 inches long, 4 3/4 inches wide, and 7 inches tall. She wants to run a border around the top of the box. How much border does she need? Now this might be a little bit confusing because you might think, well, they gave me 3 measurements. It must be volume. I'm going to times all those together and get the volume. But she really just wants a border that runs around the top of the box. So the measurement that we don't need is this 7. We don't need to know how high. We're going to run the border around the top of the box. So this measurement on the outside and on that side, right? So we're actually finding the perimeter of our box, right? We're going to just see how much border we need to go around the top. So we're going to add together 4 3/4 inches plus 6.5 inches plus 4 3/4 inches on that back and 6.5 inches on the side. So we could add those all up, those 4 sides, or we could set it up like 2 times 4 3/4 plus 2 times 6.5. I keep breaking my lead. What's my deal? I'm just weird today. Got a chip on my shoulder or something. Okay, so see here, I'm doing 2 times, what is that? 4 3/4. I hope you can read that. Plus 2 times 6.5. Because I have 2 of those sides, right? 4 3/4 is right here, this measurement, plus it's right here, back here. So that's my 2. That's why I have 2 times that. And then my 6.5 measurements, I'm looking up here because remember the border's going around the top of the box. So my 6.5 is right here, but it's also on this side as well. And that's why I have 2 times 6.5. Okay, so if I figure out those equations, which I can do really fast. Whew, I gotta speed this up. I got 5 more minutes to finish my lesson here. Let's see if we can do that really quickly. I'll help you out. Okay, so we have 2 times 4 3/4. Let's do that one first. Ooh, you can't see me anymore. That's not gonna work. Let's move over here. Come on, little board. You can do it. Okay. 2 times 4 3/4. Well, first of all, I need to make him a fraction. So I'm going to do 2 over 1. Okay. Times. And then I need to make this an improper fraction. So 4 times 4 is 16. Plus 3 is 19 over 4. There we go. Now I just multiply straight across. 2 times 19 is 38 over 4. Okay, I'm just going to leave that one right now because I'm going to do the next one, which is 2 times 6.5. Okay. 2 times, I will fix it. Let's just fix it right now. Let's change it from an improper fraction to a mixed number. 4 goes into 38 2 times, no, let me try that again. 4 goes into 38, 9 is 36, so 9 times, there we go, with 2 left over, and that would be 2 over 4, but 2 over 4 reduces to 1/2. So 2 times 4 3/4 is 9.5, which makes sense because 2 times 4 is 8, and this is a little bit more than 4, but it's not quite 5 because 2 times 5 is 10, so this is right in the middle of those two. So we know we're right, we're good. Okay, let's try the next one. We've got 2 times 6.5. And I'm going to make this guy a fraction, 2 over 1, times 6.5. I'm going to make it improper. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Keep my same denominator. Multiply straight across. 2 times 13 is 26. 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, there we go. I got to change it now. 26 divided by 2 is 13, so that equals 13. Now, I'm just going to add those two measurements together. We're going to do, can you still see right here? Yep, 9.5 plus 13. I'm just going to add my whole numbers together first. 9 plus 13 is 22. And I add my half on, 22.5. And let's see, what measurement are we in? I forgot. Inches. Inches. Okay, I'm not cubing anything, I'm not squaring anything because I'm just adding those up around. So my answer for number 9 is 22.5 inches. Okay, so in that one, did you see I didn't find the volume, I didn't find the area, I actually had to find the perimeter around the top. Okay, so that's what we're doing for today's homework. Not difficult, you just have to think about which one is the best option. So let me grab my, ooh, I didn't get that homework out. I did that yesterday too, didn't I, guys? Okay, so we've got 8, 7. There we go. Okay, so on 8-7, it's asking you the same questions like we answered before at the very beginning of our video. You're going to tell whether you're measuring for length, area, or volume, okay? You don't have to tell how many measurements on this one. You just have to say length, area, or volume. Then 6 through 10 is where we're actually doing the like the word problems, the real world problems, okay? So here's what I want you to do. I do want you to do 1 through 5. Okay, so I'm gonna have, those are easy. I think you can do those. And I definitely want you to know the difference, what you're finding. So 1 through 5. And then I'll just have you do the even on 6 through 10. So 6, 8, 10. There you go. It's 1 through 5, 6, 8, 10. Try those out. So you only really have to do some really good brain work on 6, 8, and 10. Okay? Okay? Good luck. I think you'll do great.